Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. We've got a big news update today. First, Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested last night in the Bahamas. The charges against him were just released by the SEC. I'll go into what those charges are and what that could mean for you if you invested in crypto. Plus, the latest inflation report came out this morning. There's some good news there, and the stock market is responding positively. Plus, the Fed is meeting later this week to talk about interest rates. I'll go into details there and what that means for you. And at the end of this video, a quick reminder on grants that are available before the end of the year. If you could use extra grants, stick around for that. As always, thanks for tuning in and subscribing if you're new and hitting the like button. Let me start with Sam Bankman-Fried, aka SBF. He was arrested last night in the Bahamas. Bahamian authorities picked him up after the US government filed charges. The arrest was a bit of a surprise because SBF was scheduled to testify today to Congress and the US House of Representatives Committee on Financial Services, but because of the arrest, he's not going to be grilled by Congress. However, a copy of what he was going to say was released. I'll go into that in a minute. It started out by saying, I would like to start formally stating under oath, I effed up. I know that it doesn't mean much to say that I'm sorry, and so I'm dedicating as much of myself as I can to doing right by customers. When all is said and done, I judge myself primarily by one metric, whether I have eventually been able to make customers whole. If I fail our customers in this regard, I have failed myself. Last year, my net worth was valued at $20 billion. Today, I would be wrong to say that I have nothing. I have a loving family and food on my plate, and that's more than life has given billions of people. His sob story goes on anyway. He's awaiting extradition to the US. The charges were released this morning. SEC Chair Gary Gensler said in a statement, quote, Sam Bankman-Fried built a house of cards on a foundation of deception while telling investors that it was one of the safest buildings in crypto. The indictment that was released this morning was brought by the US Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, charges SBF with 8 criminal counts, including conspiracy to commit securities fraud and wire fraud. It accuses him of misappropriating customers' deposits and using those to pay expenses and debts of Alameda Research, a hedge fund. SBF is the only defendant named in the indictment. In fact, new FTX chief John Ray said this after the FTX collapse last month: never in my career have I seen such an utter failure of corporate controls. He's testifying this morning to the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services. That's about to start any minute. He basically said this was even worse than Enron. As this develops, we'll share more, but the good news is on the inflation report. The November report was released this morning. Overall, inflation has decreased to 7.1%. You can see right here how it's been dipping over the past few months. This was better than expected. Inflation slowed more than expected in November, an encouraging sign for the Federal Reserve officials as they gather in Washington this week to discuss the next steps in their policy campaign against rapid price increases. It's expected they may raise interest rates by 0.5% this week. They're set to release this decision at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. They will also release fresh economic projections, which could show them raising interest rates to a slightly higher level in 2023. These are positive signs, and as a result, the stock market is seeing an uptick today with this positive inflation news. The flip side on the inflation report is this: it still remains high in certain industries, more labor-intensive services, wages, those are all up. Demand for workers still exceeds the number of unemployed looking for jobs. Low unemployment and wage gains are helping fuel consumer spending, which has remained robust despite rapidly rising prices. On the flip side, home sales have fallen as mortgage rates increased, so an easing of housing costs is expected. This in turn could lead to slowing inflation. So despite some of these positive signals, many small business owners and entrepreneurs are still cutting costs, still facing hardships, looking for funding. And if that's you and you want help, of course, you can always work with us one-on-one. Go to helloskip.com/join to learn more. And if you're serious about getting one-on-one funding or business help, you can always call us as well, 650-695-6133. And you can also enter our grants. We've been donating our YouTube revenue for over 2 years back to subscribers of this channel. We're giving out a few grants this month, a 5K grant and 2 $1,000 grants. It's free to enter. Go to helloskip.com/1K. Read about it here. You can skip right to the grants and funding opportunities. Plus, we've got more on the latest version of our app. Search HelloSkip in the App Store and Google Play. website. Again, it's free to download. Would love to hear in the comments what you think about the SBF news today, his arrest and the charges, and what you think about the inflation report. Does it make you more optimistic? Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.